Check, check, mic check. Okay, that sounds good. Good day, everyone. It is July 13th. It's a Monday, 2026. I'm starting a little bit early because it's nice and calm. It's overcast, and I'm not sure if we're going to get any rain or breeze, but it helps if I can have the candles lit. Okay, let me back up just a little bit. There we go. So another update. It's been on my son Ben, and like I said, he received his last. Oh, maybe you didn't know. Okay, I'm trying to think of when I was speaking last. He finished his round of chemo last weekend, about basically a week ago, and apparently, and again, they didn't tell any of us tell any of this to us. It was all about just the chemo is absolutely necessary to kill the cancer. Okay, and what I've learned so much since then. Chemotherapy kills rapidly dividing cells. Well, where else in the body do we have rapidly dividing cells? In the bone marrow to produce blood. So this is where I understand and why that chemo is so toxic. So what they have to do is they have to boost the blood supply via drugs, blood infusions, transfusions, etc. And this is why so many people have been learning to avoid it, because that's the part that's dangerous. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, but I do really good research. You have to know the right questions to ask. So we're at that point where apparently a week to 2 weeks after the treatment is what's called a nadir, N-A-D-I-R. Again, I just learned this yesterday, where the blood count from the body itself just drops down to extremely low levels. And that's where organs fail. The heart is trying to keep up with what blood it does have to distribute to the body in order to get the oxygen to the cells. So that's where we're at right now. It's a very critical stage for Benedict right now. He went back into ICU because that's exactly what happened. And so that's it. If he makes it through this, that's it. They keep pushing for more, another round. I'm like, you guys are nuts. So that's it as far as that. Then we go to the alternative to boost. And I'm back. For those of you who are watching just a few minutes ago, of course, when I talk about this, the little bugs in the system decide to shut down my live stream. So, as I was saying, he was struggling right now. So this is the most critical point. There's a lady who, her name was Rhoda Wise, and apparently she had been she had stomach cancer and was miraculously cured. Very faithful lady. She bore the wounds, the stigmata of Deum Iesum Christum. Very holy lady, and they're trying to get her beatified. So I'm going to ask Rhoda Wise. I'm not sure if I remember if I told you she had stomach cancer, same or similar to what Benedict has. So we've had a lot of really good conversations with nurses and techs there, physical therapists. I always educate them, and I always, bring the faith in. And so we're getting people to think there. And again, we're praying for the intercession of the saints and all those, so that Benedict can be miraculously healed completely, so that I think he might want to be a priest. And we need another priest. We need more priests. So he's that's where we're at right now. He's in very severe state. They do not understand that there's other ways to get oxygen into the body besides just through a nasal cannula, and they're not even giving him that because the testing that they do shows that the oxygen in his blood is good, but yet there's not enough blood. But there's other ways to get oxygen into the body to help the cells. And that's what they're it's drugs. It's all about drugs. They put a drug for this, and when it starts to do that, they put a drug for this, and then they just keep going back and forth. It's pharmakia. It's their magic. So we need his prayers for his protection, for anybody who's going through this, who's ignorant and not even ignorant, but it's a test for them, like I believe it is for us. So like I said, we're going to go back as soon as we can get him discharged and go over to the alternative therapy place to boost the oxygen, to give him the red light therapy, to give him these other supports that the hospital is just completely unaware of. Completely. It's amazing that anybody survives in there. It's amazing. Anyway, okay. So today is July 13th. It's the anniversary of the second apparition of Deam Matronam Nostrae at Fatima. So I'm going to read that, and then we'll have a Mass, the most holy sacrifice of the Mass. And I see with this split that's occurring amongst Catholics, it's very, very interesting. The youth who are I think I mentioned this last week, the youth who are very enthusiastic about the faith, but they only know the Novus Ordo. And they have been trained that that's the church, that's the Catholic Church, that's the Catholic faith. And they don't realize all the, they don't know the history. So we have to pray for them. And with the SSPX and all that, there's been a boom on that side, which is a positive sign. However, they need to keep going too. So, but there's a lot happening. Okay, so the third apparition brought to the Cova de Iria a crowd of 5,000 people. Lucy led the rosary, and the crowd answered. At noon, she rose and looked toward the east, crying, quote, "Close the umbrellas, close the umbrellas." They used umbrellas to protect themselves from the intense noontime sun. Our Lady is arriving. The apparition then began in the usual way with a flash of something like lightning and the appearance of Our Lady atop the holm oak. Lucy relates the apparition in her memoirs. Quote, "What does your grace want of me?" I asked. I'm going to interrupt here quickly. That is a really good statement or question to ask when you go into Catholic contemplation before you begin. Okay, what does your grace want of me? Quote, "I want you to come here on the 13th of next month to continue reciting the Rosary every day in honor of Our Lady of the Rosary, in order to obtain peace in the world and the end of the war, because only she can help you." Sounds similar to today. Quote, "I should like to ask you to tell us who you are and to work a miracle." This is from Lucy, work a miracle so that everyone will believe that your grace is appearing to us. And Our Lady answers, continue to come here every month. In October, I will say who I am and what I want, and I will perform a miracle so that all might see and believe. Here I made some requests, which I do not remember. What I do remember is that Our Lady said it was necessary to say the Rosary in order to obtain these graces throughout the year. Okay? Same thing that I have asked if I'm not available to have the Most Holy Sacrifice of the Mass for you. Our Lady continued, sacrifice yourselves for sinners and say often, Tu Deum Iesum Christum, especially whenever you make a sacrifice. O Deum Iesum Christum, it is for love of Thee, for the conversion of sinners, and in reparation for the sins committed against the Immaculate Heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae. As Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands once more, as she had done during the 2 previous months. The rays of light seemed to penetrate the earth, and we saw it as it were a sea of fire. Plunged in this fire were demons and souls in human form, like transparent burning embers, all blackened and burnished bronze, floating about in the conflagration, now raised into the air by the flames that issued from within themselves, together with great clouds of smoke, now falling back on every side like sparks in huge fires, without weight or equilibrium, amid shrieks and groans of pain and despair, which horrified us and made us tremble with fear. And this is in parentheses, it must have been this sight which caused me to cry out, as people say they heard me. The demons could be distinguished by their terrifying and repellent likeness to frightful and unknown animals, black and transparent like burning coals. That vision lasted only a moment, thanks to our good Mother of Heaven, who at the first apparition had promised to bring us to heaven. Without that, I think we would have died of terror and fear. Terrified and as if to plead for succor, we looked up at Dea Matronam Nostrae, who said to us so kindly and so sadly, quote, you have seen hell, where the souls of poor sinners go. To save them, God wishes to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. If what I say to you is done, many souls will be saved, and there will be peace. The war is going to end, but if people do not cease offending God, a worse one will break out during the reign of Pius XI. When you see a night illumined by an unknown light, know that this is the great sign given you by God, that He is about to punish the world for its crimes by means of war, famine, and persecutions of the Church and of the Holy Father. To prevent this, I shall come to ask for the consecration of Russia to my Immaculate Heart and the communion of reparation on the first Saturdays. If my requests are heeded, Russia will be converted and there will be peace. If not, she will spread her errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions of the Church. The good will be martyred. The Holy Father will have much to suffer. Various nations will be annihilated. In the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. The Holy Father will consecrate Russia to me, and she will be converted, and a period of peace will be granted to the world. In Portugal, the dogma of faith will always be preserved. Okay? It's very important right there. The dogma of the faith, that's the rock, okay, upon which I will build my church. Do not tell this to anybody. Francisco, yes, you may tell him. When you pray the Rosary, say after each mystery, O my Deum Iesum Christum, forgive us, save us from the fires of hell, lead all souls to heaven, especially those who are most in need. After this, there was a moment of silence, and then I asked, is there anything more that you want of me? No, I do not want anything more of you today. Then, as before, Our Lady began to ascend towards the east until she finally disappeared. In the cycle of the apparitions, the apparition of July 13th is decidedly the most important. It was in this third apparition of Our Lady that the secret was given to the seers. I'm sorry, yes, third apparition, not second. I got that wrong on my title. I'm a little disheveled. Also, the announcement of the October miracle was made for the first time, clearly indicating its date, time, and place. Our Lady would reiterate the coming miracle in the August and September apparitions as well. So there we have that apparition, and it is very important to contemplate that one, especially when there's this new discussion about hell in the world. Again, like I said, it's very, very important to seek the intercession of the saints, to practice humility and generosity. And by the way, thank you for those who have donated to help Ben with his cause and to help others with their causes. And very, I just can't say enough. So continue to pray the rosary. We are going to go through continued changes, major changes. The lights in the sky, we see them now. Okay, there's colors that we do not see. They're unknown illuminated lights. They're plasma. Doesn't mean that explanation means anything other than look out, because it's not a normal condition. So much going on. All right, let's get started with the most holy sacrifice of the Mass and the Good Day Rising prayers. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Divine Family, and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany. Most Holy and Venerable Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that Thou art here present. I venerate Thee with the deepest humility. I render to Thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to Thee. O Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, relying on Thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of Thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum, et Dea Matronam Nostrae. O Most Holy Divine Family, I love Thee above all things, with my whole heart and soul, because Thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of Thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Divine Family for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O Most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank Thee for all the favors Thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to Thy bounty that I should live to see this day. I consecrate to Thee all my thoughts, words, actions, sufferings, and I desire to employ it solely in Thy service. Consecrate my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings, that there may be none that is not animated by Thy love, or that would not tend to Thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Most Holy Divine Family the graces which are necessary to us. O my God, Thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of Thy grace. Deny me not Thy grace. Proportionate to my necessities, give me strength to avoid everything which Thou forbiddest, to practice the good which Thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please Thee to send me. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, Holy Mother of God, I place myself under Thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of Thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Most Holy Divine Family, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended Thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend Thee, O Most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of Thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te. Oremus. Fidelium Deum Iesum Christum omnium conditore et redemptor animabus famalorum famrobgetorum remissionum contorum tribue peccatorum ut indulgentiam cum semper obteverunt pii supplicationibus consequentor qui tecum viveta reinat in una divina familia qui erat est et edit in aeternum. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatum hostiam. Omego indinius famulus tuus oferi tibi Deum meum verum. Pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis et pro omnibus circumstantibus sed et pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivisat quid functis ut mihi et idis proficiat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilite condiditia mirabilis reformasti da nobis spiritus atque tu in mysterium meus divinitatis esse consortes qui humanitatis nostrae viridi natis est patriceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium qui tecum vivit reinat in una divina familia qui erat est et edit in aeternum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementium ut spectu divina majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundus salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. Spiritu humilitatis et in anima contritus suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum, et sequiet sacrificium nostrum hic spectu tu hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum maternam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concobulationem con tibi afferimus, ab amore in passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum maternam nostra et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Historum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignenter in caelis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meum questum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nominis sui ad utitatem quoque nostrum totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud te. Surus sum gloria, habemus a Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Dei et clementissimi Mater, Pater, et Deum Maternam nostra, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus opertimus, uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificiam irrivata, in primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam beatificare custodire adornare et regere digneris tot orbiterarum ad quae catholicae. Memento Deum famalorum famrumcitorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Paul, Shelley, Therese, Cody, Ben, Jenny, Katie, Kathy, Maria Josephina Mose, Marilyn, Mark Jr., the Stevenson family, Letitia, Mindy, Todd, Clarette, Dennis, Barbara Santa Croce, James, Robert, Benedict Santa Croce, Gregory, Adam, Malachi, and Patrick Santa Croce, the Williams, Tafour, and Began families, Michaela McLarnon and family, the Kendrick, Shorten, Nolan, Dosco, Kane, Nye, Wolf, Camerano, and Pohoski families, and all their good intentions. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. And we pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, with a sound sound medium of exchange. We pray that many people learn about what a Catholic monarchy is and why it is, why they have been deceived about it for centuries. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. And we pray that those doctors who are knowingly performing something that is harmful and that they're questioning it now, that they might have the courage to admit their mistake and to leave and to find other ways to assist people in the true health that they deserve. All this we ask in accordance with the most holy divine family's goodwill and intention. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides, cognita est et nota devotio. Pro quibus tibi afferimus, veloque tibi offerunt hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum prospe salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi queredunt volta sua, aeterno Deum, vivo et vero. Monucantes et memorantes in primis gloriosae semper Deum Matram nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum, Papa Sancte Petri, et Sancte Lucia, et Sancte Jacinta, et Sancte Francisco, et Sancte Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meditis praecibusque concedasut in omnibus protectiones tuae muniam exilio per enim Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in nomine Domini, consecratem, acceptabilem efficere dignitis ut nobis corpus, et sanguinem fiat dedictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pastoretur recepit panem in sancta sacralis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in calamate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum sum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, frege didique lumis sui dicenza cipite, et mandocati ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo postquam ceremonias decipinser hunc precarum calicem in sancta sacralis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecrave dedique lumis sui dicenza cipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum, et est confiditis in memoriam Christi. Unde et memores Deum nos servituis, et plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beate passionis nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae scansionis afferimus, praeclarae maiestati tui de tuis donis sactatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vultur respiciere digneris. Supplices teragamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum iube hec petere manus tuum ut quod ex hoc apparis participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sincerimus, omni sanctificatione caleste gratia repe amor, per in Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Eva Dasco, for whom this Mass is being offered, and for Grace Mannion. Ib systemat omnibum in Christum Chriscentibum locum refegeri ducis epacis ut gesta proclamor pedinum Christum Deum nostrum, per cum hec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Et ipsum, et cum ipso, et in ipso, est ibi Deum Matram omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Deum, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Sancta tua in mulier Deum matronam nostrae, materam Deum Iesum Christum. Misericordia nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum matronam nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbazione securi. Pediendum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tegum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et procrepa te. Haec extio consecratio corporis et sanguis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipentibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et procrepa te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, coprante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam mundum vivificasti, libera me per sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitibus meis, et universis malis et Fatime tui semper in harare mandatis, et numquam separare permittas, qui cum meodem Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in idicium condonationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi ad tutumenta metis corporis, et adame delam percipiendam, qui vivis et regnas cum Deum matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiam, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sunt dignius, ut ente sotete meas in tante riguardo saparana mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, ut ente sotete meas in tante riguardo saparana mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, ut ente sotete meas in tante riguardo saparana mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid durat tubum Deum Iesum Christum? Pro omnibus quaere tubuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipit nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, Laudam sumo cabo Deum matronam nostro et ab inimicis meis avocero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum, custodiet anima meam. Quod sumus Deum Iesum Christum, finamente capiamus et immune et propit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus Deum Iesum Christum, quod sancti sanguis computavi hereat scelibus meis apraesta, ut in me non remaniat scela la macula quem purat sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum obiscum, et quoque apud te, oremus. Animabus quesumus Deum Iesum Christum, famalorum getorum, oratio proficiat supplicantium, ut eis et peccatis omnibus exuas et tuae redemptionis facies esse parati cepes. Qui tigum reverenat in una divina familia qui erat est et edit in aeternum. Deum obiscum, et quoque apud te, ite mis est, Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium, servitutis mea et praesta, ut sacrificium corrupilis tuae maestatis in minus autoritatis et captavenem iquiet omnibus, pro quibus irut obtoliciti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum, Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy divine family, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea matronam nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart, and the immaculate heart of Dea matronam nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your faithfulness, your prayers, and your thoughts. Remember to take care of your soul. Practice humility, patience, and especially charity. All right. Until next time, it seems to be, if it can be like this in the morning, a little cooler and without the sun striking me down, I will do this. It's extremely humid. I'm drenched. It's amazing. I'm just not used to this Florida summer. All right. Please go and have a great day. And again, sanctify all those who meet. See ya.